Hello everybody, welcome back to Omajan Plays Minecraft. In today's episode, we finish building a wall around our village. I told you guys that this would be it would only take 4 parts in the previous one, and yeah, it should have been closer to 5, maybe even 6. But I committed to doing it in 4. So this episode is, I believe, 2.5 hours worth of gameplay, condensed into a nice, neat little 18 minute package. So, yeah, as you can see, I start the episode on 1.5 hearts, because, as one of you mentioned, I don't eat a lot in this game. I wait until I'm, starving, and then I eat and heal up, and then I don't think about it. It's definitely one of my problems with the game. Not problems with the game, but problems with the way I play the game. I fully expect myself to just never go hungry, which I don't understand, because, in real life, I'm constantly hungry. In the game, you'd think I'd be constantly eating so that I could have a way to, think about eating in real life. But, alas, I start with some bread, because bread is amazing. Okay, you know how some people are like, bread's unhealthy, blah, 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 whatever? You shouldn't eat a lot of bread, it's not good for you. You know what? Bread is second only to water on the importance. People are like, no, it's vegetables. You know what? I've never eaten a carrot and gone, boom, my life's been elongated. Every time I eat some garlic bread, I feel 5 years being added to my life. It might not be 5 years of length, but it's 5 years worth of enjoyment. And I think that's what matters. We have one chance in this world, garlic bread. I should be sponsored by garlic bread here in the near future. So, I also wanted to let you guys know, there might be some content delays coming in the next about a month or so, because I am moving somewhere for a short while before I move somewhere else for a long while. Once I'm in the long while place, I'll be able to set things up and I'll have good internet. But for the short time that I'm in the place before I go to the other place, I'm going to have really second-rate internet speeds. So it might be difficult for me to upload. What I'm going to try to do is get a good amount of content ready and scheduled to upload so that it's already in the YouTube server and it can just become available at certain times, but I don't know how much of that I'll be able to do, and I definitely won't be able to get an episode every day for a month out. But that was my original goal, an episode every day for a month, and then move to 1, 2 a week. Probably 2 a week, but might have to move to that a little bit earlier, or we might see if we can kind of just wean it down a hair instead of going all out and being either every day or twice a week. Maybe I'll see if next week I can do 5, the following week 3, then the following week 2, something like that. Not sure yet, but just wanted to give you guys a warning. And I want to say, go ahead and get hyped for the next episode, because in this one, we finish the wall. In the next episode, we are going to make this town look absolutely stunning. We're going to go through, fix anything that needs a little bit of fixing, and we end the episode with a grand tour. As you can see, I am building up a what would you call this? A staircase? Because also in this episode, I want to make sure that the whole area is connected, you can get around it, so that we can have that nice tour, and so that my villagers can, move around. The topic I brought to today's discussion, I always feel like I'm bringing something to class. When the professor or teacher is like, I want you guys to bring something to talk about from the book you guys read. It feels like that. Except, I get to talk about things that are interesting to me and not Virginia Woolf. Which, I will say, okay, I have nothing against Virginia Woolf, but I took a lot of very intense English classes during my old college days. And I was not nearly as much a fan of Virginia Woolf as I was of a lot of the other authors that we read. Virginia Woolf was not my fave. So, no shade on Virginia Woolf, but a little bit of shade on Virginia Wolf. Anyways, the topic is bottled water brands. Long pause for dramatic effect. I want to go through some different bottled water brands and just talk about which ones are good, which ones aren't. We're going in alphabetical order because I found a Wikipedia site or Wikipedia article that just lists bottled water brands. So I'm going to go through and talk about the ones I have opinions on and the ones I've tasted. So some of them, like Aquapanna, I think I've had that once. I don't have an opinion on that. But the first one I do have an opinion on is Aquafina. I think Aquafina is a solid choice. Like, if I go to the store or a gas station or whatnot and they have Aquafina, solid, like, mid-range. It's not luxury water, but it's gonna get you what you need, which is good water. Then we skip on down and we have Crystal Clear. I don't think I've ever purchased Crystal Clear. I think I just like go to my friends' houses and they have Crystal Clear. Again, super like mid. Absolutely mid-tier. And then we have Dasani. Now Dasani is about at the same level as a single rock. I would rather drink a single rock than drink Dasani. It's not even water. As you're drinking it, you can feel yourself getting less hydrated. Absolute zero, negative 0 out of 10 is the ranking for Dasani. Then we have Evian. I think Evian's great. I have Evian in my like top 3 waters. But of the top 3, I think it's the third. Ooh, it might be the second. It's either the second or the third. Now, from Evian, we can hop on down to number 1, which is Fiji water. I want everyone that watches this channel to know that I absolutely adore Fiji water. I think it is perfect. There is nothing wrong with Fiji water. No one's drinking Fiji and going, this isn't good. No, you're drinking Fiji and you're like, I'm a millionaire. This is the life of luxury. If anyone from Fiji is ever watching, not Fiji the island, anyone from the Fiji Water Company is ever watching this, know that I would so happily be sponsored by Fiji. That is my life goal. My life dream is to be sponsored by Fiji Water. Now we're going to hop on down. We have Ice Mountain. Ice Mountain, I like the imagery of Ice Mountain, even though I think that's just a glacier. But I like the imagery that invokes. Like, that's a solid name for a water company. You can see it. It feels fresh. It feels cool. It feels hydrating. It also feels adventurous. It's not lazy. It's like, ah yes, by drinking this, I am like a mountaineer. But their water is very, as far as I'm concerned, like, again, middle of the road. I'm not drinking it like this is the good water, but I'm not complaining about it. I'm always happy to receive some Ice Mountain. Next up is the Nestle water brands, which I think this is interesting because it used to be called Nestle and their water was like Nestle Pure Life or whatever, but recently they've rebranded to, it's called Pure Life. When you look at the packaging, it's called Pure Life Water. And then you have to look on the back and it's like owned by the Nestle Corporation or whatever it's called. Which I think that's weird. I'm wondering if that's from all the bad press Nestle was getting here in the States with the whole like Michigan thing, Flint, Michigan. I wonder if it's from that, but I don't know for sure. But again, I think that's what my parents buy is Nestle Pure Life. Yeah, it's decent water. I'll drink it. I do drink it on a pretty regular basis. Next we have Poland Spring. I've not had Poland Spring, but I have to talk about it because it's always right next to the Fiji water at the 2 stores I go to most often. It's like Fiji water and then directly to the right of it is Poland water. Or Poland Spring water. And I'm like, At this point, it feels like you have to choose which country you support more. Like, do you support the Isle of Fiji, or do you support Poland? Like, and this is a very, like, beginning, middle of the 20th century question right here. It's like, be careful where your footing is on this one. Could be problems at any point. San Pellegrino. Delicious. I love the glass bottle. I love the vibe. I don't think I've ever purchased this, but I think I've been served it at restaurants before. And I'm always like, fun, you know? It's kind of just like water. I have no, like, particular... I'm going to go ahead and say it is also very mid-ranged, because it's not bad in the slightest. It's just water. In, like, the way that sometimes you just want water to be water. As much as I love Fiji, I don't want Fiji constantly. Sometimes, when I'm drinking Fiji, it's like, this is a special moment. I'm having a good time, I am relaxing, I'm enjoying the good parts of life. But sometimes, I'm just downing a ton of water because I just went to the gym or whatever, and I'm like, gotta rehydrate fast. At that point, I don't want to waste Fiji on a moment like that. So sometimes you just want stable, normal water, which okay, I think I should backpedal a bit here. San Pellegrino is not your basic run-of-the-mill water, but I have no particular, like, I'm not attracted to it in any way. I have no strong feelings for it the way I have for, like, Fiji water, because I will go on record as having said this. At any given moment, there are few things I would not do for a bottle of Fiji water. Now we're going to hop on down, and we have Voss. I don't think I've ever actually had Voss, but it's next to one of my other favorite bottled water brands, which there are actually two brands of bottled water that aren't on this list that I think need to be talked about. But Voss is always next to what is either second or third alongside my Evian, which is Core. I think Core water is great. I love the bottle. I like that it has the thicker mouth. I don't know how you say that. Like, the part that you drink out of is a little bit wider. I like that. I think it makes life a whole lot easier, and I think everyone should, more companies should be rocking out to this. But they're not. They're like, you know what? Small. Voss is usually next to that, and they really look similar. They have the same, like, it's a long tube, just cylinder. That's, for Voss it's see-through. For Core it's like blue and white, with the word written really wide across the bottle vertically with a colored lid. Although the color for Voss is gray and the color for Core is blue. I will say the blue definitely looks more refreshing, but Voss looks like luxury. When you see a bottle of Voss water, you're like, whoever's drinking that has money. And, like, a lot of it. That person has a lot of money. And we just know it. You can just tell. I'm also looking at this. Apparently Voss is from Norway. I didn't realize that. It is artesian water from Norway. Interesting. The more you know. So, one of the ones on the list that I wanted to talk about, one of the ones that's not on the list that I wanted to talk about was Core. I think right about now is a great time to remind you to like and subscribe. There's your plug. I'm actually throwing in 2 of my little like, subscribe animations into this video because this video took a lot to make. This was quite a bit of gameplay and quite a bit of editing. So, I think it deserves 2 little like, subscribe cards. Anyways, back to water. So, the other brand that was not on the list that I really like is Icelandic. Now, I've actually not seen Icelandic very many places. I've actually only ever seen it at Kroger, but it's wonderful. Very clean, very crisp. It's not quite as, I would describe Fiji as having like a fruity flavor of water, like fruit water. I would say that Icelandic has a bit more of like a clean taste. It's not as fruity. It's a little bit more, how do you say, tangy. Let's say tangy. That's a good way, like sour. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do this. Yeah, Icelandic water, fantastic. Would highly recommend if you ever have the option. I've also noticed that recently, I've not been seeing it as much. Like, they've not had it. They've not just not had it, but like, I think a couple weeks ago they may have stopped stocking it, which is really sad. I'm gonna truly be depressed it's no longer around. But maybe that's an update I'll give for the next. Either one of the videos coming up soon, I'll give you an update on whether or not the local Kroger has fully removed Icelandic, and I'll also give you an update on like, is the company still making water, blah 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 blah. But you have to come back for that one. That brings us to the end of our episode. I hope you guys had a great time. I know I sure did. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Bye bye.